Greetings, I am Herbert Erpederp, and today I'm at the National Servicemen's War Memorial Gardens. This is located right next to the Norman Park Bowls Club on Norman Avenue in the Brisbane suburb of Norman Park. It's also very near Norman Creek. I'm kind of curious who this Norman character was. Anyway, this is a really nice memorial. However, this is not the original memorial on this site. The website I get my information from for these videos shows an old, simple can that used to exist on this site. It was upgraded to its current state in 2003, and as you can see, there's a few cool things here. But what I think will grab most people's attention first, mine included, is this gun. I think, though I'm not 100% sure, not being anything approaching an expert on artillery pieces, but I believe this is an L5 pack howitzer. And as such, that's a 105mm gun. These were used by Australia during the Vietnam War, and I believe they also saw some service in the Malayan Emergency. That makes this gun relevant to this memorial as most of the names listed here served in Vietnam. If that isn't what this gun is, well, I'm okay with being wrong. Maybe somebody in the comments knows a bit more about these and has something interesting to share. It looks to me like this gun is pretty well maintained. I couldn't tell you what, if anything, is missing from it, but I do doubt that it's in usable condition. That would be a bit of a silly thing to leave laying around in a park. The dais the gun is mounted on has 3 plaques. The first one on the left is fairly simple. It tells us this emblem is symbolic of all who served in national service from 1941 to 1972, and was dedicated on the 30th of March 2003. The central plaque conveys a similar message, though it includes all who served in the Australian Commonwealth Military Force, past and present. On the right-hand side is a plaque in honour of the men and women who served Australia in conflict during World War II, 1939 to 1945. Lest we forget. Lest we forget can also be seen along the front of the stonework, if you for some reason needed me to point that out for you. Behind the gun, which I almost missed, I was very distracted by the gun, you see. I mean, it is pretty cool. Anyway, there's a small stone with a couple of plaques in front of a small tree, which I imagine will one day become a very large tree. This is to commemorate the centenary of Armistice Day. It honours all service people who have served Australia in the Great War of 1914 to 1918. We should never forget those who went to war to fight for peace. This was blessed on Sunday the 11th of November 2018 to recognise their courage and bravery. The lower plaque tells us about the tree, which is, if I'm saying this correctly, an Aleppo pine. These are actually an invasive species here. They are, however, significant to Australian World War I history. Google the Battle of Lone Pine if you're interested in that. This particular tree was grown from seeds collected from the lone pine at the Australian War Memorial in Canberra, which I believe is descended from the tree in Gallipoli. Let's look at the rest of the memorial, and use up some of this drone footage I had way too much fun collecting. But let's not crash into that tree, okay? There are, as you can probably see, 2 curved brick walls on either side of this paved area. The northern one has a central plaque that gives a brief history of national service, which is basically conscription. There is a lot to read here, so I'm not going to read it all out, but do feel free to pause the video and read it. The smaller plaques are, I believe, those from the area who were called up and have since passed. Not necessarily in combat judging by those dates, but I believe it's still important to have a minute of silence for these people. The large plaques on the other wall list lives lost in Vietnam and Borneo, 210 in Vietnam and 2 in Borneo. To the left of that wall we see an anchor. There's no mention of what ship this came from, though I suspect it may be a small one. The plaque on the front tells us this is symbolic of all who served in the Royal Australian Navy, past and present, and that it was dedicated on the 30th of March 2003. On the left side is a donation plaque from the Merchant Navy Welfare Society of Queensland. It's dedicated to the merchant seamen who lost their lives during wars, and on the opposite side of the pavement from this anchor, as you would have seen while I was flying around, this huge propeller. Unfortunately, I can't really tell you much about this, other than, as you can see, there's a large sticker from the 38th Squadron of the Royal Australian Air Force, which was a transport and training unit, active between World War II and 2018, so I suspect this propeller might have come from a caribou. Disappointingly, the picture I took of the plaque at the base of this didn't turn out, otherwise I would probably know more. I guess you'll just have to check that out for yourself if you find yourself here. This looks to be maintained very well. The sticker looks as though it's never seen any weather before, which I think is very cool. And that's about all there is to this memorial. I quite enjoyed my time here. This memorial is used as a location for services on Remembrance Day, Anzac Day, and Vietnam Veterans Day, so if you find yourself in the area on those days, maybe you would like to attend. In the meantime, let's have a look at a couple more shots of the howitzer that I didn't want to just cut. I did come here specifically for this gun to make my 10th Memorials video. Most of them don't have a gun, so why not do something a little bit different for the 10th one? Anyway, maybe I'm waffling now. I hope you found this interesting. If you've got any questions or comments, feel free to put them in the comment section below. If you've not done so already, why not subscribe, follow, ring the bell, become a patron or YouTube member, or maybe just come say hi on Discord or Twitch. Links to all of my things are in the description below. And, as always, I shall return soon, so until then, be excellent to each other, and thank you for watching. Farewell.